Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We're excited to welcome Alice Chun to our program today. Alice is someone I got to know because of a best-selling book called The Book of Gutsy Women. If you have not heard the name of the book, you definitely know the authors. It's co-authored by Hillary Clinton as well as her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. But Alice is also sharing her story in a new special on Apple TV. It's called Gutsy. I want to talk to Alice not only about what it's been like for her to do work that she loves as an inventor and author and speaker, but also to be able to share with others how they can be able to make a difference as well. Alice, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it.
It's an honor to be here, Cyrus. Thank you for having me.
Look, the pleasure is definitely all mine. I first found out about you, and I was so glad when I got the email about having the opportunity to speak with you from Melissa, so definitely want to shout out to Melissa, because when I first read the book of Gutsy Women, I thought, wow, it's so amazing how a lot of times we don't even realize the people around us every day that are making a difference and making things happen. What has that been like for you, Alice, to not only be recognized that way, but also to show others how they can do that too?
Well, the only thing that I have to say is you should follow your passion and never give up on things that matter to you. So a lot of the things that I'm doing, it's because I know that I can make a difference and I know that I can help people. And when I invent something, it's always triggered by a problem or a world crisis that where I take my imagination and creativity. I used to teach architecture at Columbia University and at Parsons New School. And so I already have this mindset of drawing and making things, and I use that and channel it to trying to ask questions about how things can become better. So it's kind of like there's a saying that architecture is not about possible realities. It's about real possibilities. And I think that goes true to any entrepreneurial venture, an idea for a company or an invention. So part of it is just being able to imagine something that will change the trajectory of how things are going, such as climate change, such as illness. And for me, it was just seeing the Haiti earthquake back in 2010.
Right.
And when I finally got to Haiti, I realized there were so many people that were using kerosene to light their world at night. It's a deadly toxic fuel. Children are doing their homework with burning eyes and coughing. And I had already been researching and experimenting with solar, integrating solar with thin substrates and fabric. And I took technology and applied it to a invention which is called the Solar Puff. It's a flat pack origami solar light, which is extremely light, and it is thin when it ships so that you can save money on shipping costs. You can deploy them hundreds in a box versus the other solar lanterns where they're big and bulky and heavy and very utilitarian looking, and you can only ship maybe 8 of those in a box. So when I did field testing in Haiti, I met a woman who couldn't afford the glass to go around her kerosene, and she was saying how her children were trying to do their homework, in a room full of smoke. And she said when she received one of my early prototypes, she said it was a gift from God. And that's when I decided to become a social entrepreneur, because in regions where people are living on $3 a day, they're spending up to 30% of their income on kerosene, which is a toxic fuel.
Right.
So I thought if they could save that money, they could use that for food, clothing, education. And it's a win-win situation for everyone.
And Alice, I think that goes to a larger point, and that's why I think you were such a good fit for the book of Gutsy Women, but also for this series, because the work that you're doing is so much bigger than you. So many times when people do certain things, it is for something for themselves, either for an accolade for themselves to be recognized a certain way. It seems like from the very beginning, even going back, as you mentioned with that trip to Haiti, that this was bigger than you. Do you think that's also why you've been able to empower and inspire so many people, because it makes them want to be on this journey with you to see what they can do to help?
Well, that's a really great point, Cyrus. And because I never really imagined myself becoming an inventor when I was in high school or early on in my college years. It was just following a path that allowed me to take advantage of certain times in my life where you have your everyday routine, but then you always have this line of chaos or serendipity or chance that comes into your life. And from those moments, there's always an opportunity for invention and innovation. So the Greeks believed that there were two lines of time. One is Chronos and one is Kairos. Chronos is a straight line and predictable. Kairos is an unpredictable line and chaotic. And when those two lines of time intersect, those are the moments of invention. And so you kind of have to see that for yourself in your life and your trajectory, and ask yourself in those moments, do you lean in or do you lean back? And do you step up and try to do something to help? Or are you a witness? And either is fine, but for some reason, I feel like I've always been I've been thinking about myself as a servant and to do service. So I keep telling everyone, like when I speak now, I don't teach anymore at Columbia or UPenn or Parsons, but I do speak with all over the world, and also when I deliver lights to children, I tell them that the light of their imagination and the light of their heart is the most powerful thing that they can use as a weapon against injustice and poverty. And I tell them that I grew up in a neighborhood where I was the only Asian, and I was beat up and picked on, but I didn't fight with my fists. I fought with the light of my mind and the light of my heart. And I tell the kids that they're light warriors. And if you can fight with that light, there's nothing you can't do.
And I mentioned to you actually before we went live here, Alice, that's one of the things I definitely wanted to talk to you about. I was watching an interview that you did recently, a couple of months ago, and that's one thing that struck me that you talked about is kind of activating that light in our mind and our heart and using that. So I want to talk about how that has helped you in the bigger scheme of things, because, as people have learned about your work, what you've been able to do, people look around and there are so many people that are hurting. I know you're getting ready to take a trip to also to be able to offer assistance. So many people don't feel helpless, though, Alice. What do you normally tell them about, the way they look at themselves? Because so many people will say, you know what, that's great, you can do that, but I can't do that. What has it been like for you to help them to understand how they can do whatever's in their power to do?
Well, our motto or our belief is that matter. And if you look at the trajectory of climate change, we all did something small, like throw away a plastic bottle or throw away a plastic fork. And all of us, the planet and 7 billion people, created a island in the North Pacific the size of Texas that's all made out of garbage plastic. It's a plastic island that's growing and growing. And so we created that. We all created that. So what I feel is that, what I believe is that if we can do that, we can actually change that course to heal the planet. I mean, we did a lot of things in the past to do things to detriment the planet. But now we have the potential of doing one small thing that will make a difference. And it could be, using biodegradable things, reusable things. It can be using a small solar light like ours instead of a light bulb, not tapping into the grid and still having beautiful ambiance in your home, or sending a light to a refugee in need. So these are all really small things, but together I believe we're all drops in the ocean. But together we can move the moon.
Such a great point. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Alice Chun to our program today. Alice, as you've heard us talk about, is an inventor. She's an author and speaker, but an individual who's been able to let her own light shine and to be able to impact people literally around the world. You heard her talk about Haiti, but also she's getting ready to take another trip to Ukraine as well, to be able to offer assistance there. So I have to ask you about, you're a part of this project with Apple, and of course the book Gutsy, and then of course the book of Gutsy Women. Have you gotten used to the idea at this point, Alice, that you were looked at as someone who is gutsy and courageous?
You know what? Not really. I mean, until the docuseries happened, I just, I think of myself as a mom and an inventor, and I'm a CEO, but I'm a normal person. I mean, I ride my bike all over New York City. I don't have a car, but I keep telling people that once you figure out what you feel passionate about that really matters, that's when you figure out there's something bigger than you that you believe in, the courage and the strength and the perseverance will come. And it's not something that you have to ask for. It'll just come to you, and you won't have to search for it or find it. And time again, like, for instance, this trip to Ukraine, people are telling me, people always tell me not to go. Like, they told me not to go to Haiti. They told me not to go to Nigeria. They told me not to go to Ukraine. But every time I go to these places, I meet the most amazing people and have the most inspiring stories that get discovered along the way. And I think there's a certain bubble that we need to burst in terms of how we perceive the world, that there's always two sides of a story. In fact, there's many sides of a story. And right now, I think, people don't want me to go to Ukraine, but I know that I have to go because I know the impact that this is going to have on the children when I deliver these lights, because these kids, they all have PTSD. They've lost their families. They are orphans, and they are traumatized every time there's a blackout. The Russians have been bombing all of the power stations, so there's blackouts all the time. They're afraid of the dark. And so when I heard about this, I said, I have to go. I have to go myself and deliver these lights, tell them that the world has not forgotten about them, that the world still cares. And in particular, I'm bringing our colored lights because they were used for PTSD in kids after Hurricane Maria on a small island called Vieques. And the colors helped calm them down. They used them as night lights. They even played games with them. And it really helped them to sleep at night and reduce stress and anxiety. So when I heard about the children in Ukraine, it was, I didn't have to think twice. It was just automatic. I'm going to go.
Well, it's a great example, Alice, for what all of us can do and how we can all be gutsy no matter where we may be in the world. Again, everyone, Alice Chun has been our guest. Alice, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. How can our audience stay connected with you and the work that you're doing?
Oh, they could just go to our website at solight-design.com, solight-design.com, and they can learn about our products and our missions and even donate a light to Ukraine, or just get a light themselves and use it in their bedroom at night and think about how much they're going to be, even though it's little, they're actually saving on carbon emissions. So every little bit counts.
Love that. And right now, if our audience goes ahead and visits the website, I noticed there is a 30% off for some of the products there that they can use a code for over $100.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure you guys take advantage of that. Again, that's solight-design.com. For our online audience, we're going to link that up for you guys and make it easy for you. And Alice, really appreciate you. Safe travels to you and blessings to you, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Oh, look, the pleasure is definitely all mine. I appreciate you. Again, thank you so much, Melissa, for setting up this chat with us for today, and thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.